Hello everybody and welcome back to the 6th episode of the Midnight Shifts podcast. I'm joined by my co-hosts today, Repaired Puma 994, aka Darian.
Hola.
Midway Knight 735, aka Hunter.
Hi.
Guilty 1 3452, aka Noah, the COVID-infested bastard.
Pog Jump.
Ice number 6809.
Ew.
What's my AKA?
Nothing.
aka Nathan. Yes, you can have the name.
Cold Heartless.
I let him outside of my basement finally. Repaired Puma 99. Oh, I already talked about you. I don't care about you. And new to this show for the first time, even though he's been here the entire time, he just keeps bailing on us. X Grimm's X, aka.
It's true. Shut up.
No, it is, but I can't
Jordan.
help it. Hello.
Oh my shit.
Alright, we have a decent show for you. It'll probably be a snoozer, so if you click off before I even read this, I don't blame you. Anyway, Cyberpunk did not live up to the hype this year, and it probably should have been in the oven for another year. However, don't uninstall it on your PC yet. There's a few fixes that we will talk about. New GTA Heist is out, and the new Cold War Season 1 is tomorrow, and more PS5 and Xboxes are back in stock. Yep, that's the week, everybody. We gotta squeeze that into an hour.
It's possible.
Hey man, I got COVID. It's all good. I can talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that, you know. Oh yeah, I mean, I did skip over one thing. So Nvidia had crossed the line. They, a person called Hardware Unboxed was denied to do GPUs anymore. We'll get more into that later into the video, and I'm probably going to rant about that for a good minute. But anyway, if we can start that off. How's everybody's week going?
Man, pretty freaking bad.
Enlighten me.
Sucks for you.
What do you mean enlighten me?
Well,
I went to work for one day and now I'm coming back and I got a positive COVID test, bro.
Big oof.
Nice.
Now I had to self-quarantine for 14 days and then take another test.
Damn like shit.
I hope I don't get it through the mic.
Honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, it's just like it's a cold that's been enhanced.
Dimitri, edit that out. No, I'm joking.
Wow, you're saying it's from the Russians. How dare you?
Ew.
Look, we don't conspire
it
on
is
this
on that
channel,
part of
but
the
it
world.
definitely was from the Russians. This is the Joe
I
Rogan
thought it was from
experience,
China.
and the COVID
But
came
okay.
from Russia.
It is from China.
I need an air horn now,
Stupid.
just so we can have the dank like.
Send the 10 to you.
Anyway, a new member that hasn't been on here before. Maybe you can give us a little insight into who you are. We don't get too detailed, but just enough so they kind of know who you are. Jordan, if you'd like to do that.
No problem, I appreciate it, Isaac.
6'2", don't watch your animal.
Yo, I'm 38 years old, I live in my mother's basement. No.
Close.
Well, my name is Jordan. I'm a gamer. I hang out with my buddies. We made a Discord for gaming and stuff.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's
About
not
yourself. About yourself.
About myself? Okay.
About yourself.
Yeah, like, you don't have to get too
Sorry,
detailed.
I'm very
just
humble,
what you
very
do.
humble. I'm a graphic designer. I'm about to graduate from college. I'm gonna go into CGI, VFX, and all that.
You guys know what that means, what we call it in our channel.
A nerd.
Poggers.
Shut.
Speaking of poggers, of course we have to do this ad fill. You can join us on Patreon at the Midnight Shift 0 because somebody took our Patreon name. Yeah, be our first member, get a cool name on the Discord server. You'll just be called, if you join the lowest tier.
I don't know if that's fully set up yet, but we'll talk about
yeah,
that
we're
later.
working on that as of now. But the Patreon tier for the lowest one is poggers, dude. Because yeah, we talked about that 2 episodes ago. But let's get right back into this for this week. It is 12/15. If you guys don't know, we're pretty close to Christmas. So maybe, you know what?
10 days away.
What do you wish for this year for Christmas? Everybody will give off one thing.
Sick.
Okay, one at a time, guys. We got a whole hour. We have to do an hour. This way we get paid. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Here's our thing. Here's my thing. All right. Can Santa Claus take depression away?
No.
Yes.
Dang, I'm gonna be sad forever.
No. Yes, he can.
How, Hunter?
Hunter gets
All
visited
drugs.
by every year.
In the form of the Suck Up 2000.
Stop.
All right, let's. In all
Delay.
seriousness, guys, what do you wish to have this year for Christmas?
Honestly,
Who's going first?
Who's going?
honestly,
Honestly,
I don't know.
you don't have anything on
He
your
wants a
Christmas
game
list.
PC. He wants a game.
I do want
PC.
that,
I'll answer
but that's not gonna
for him.
happen.
Well, then that's something you want for Christmas.
That's not gonna
We're just
happen.
asking what you want. We're not saying we're giving it to you.
Oh, there's a lot of things that I want that I cannot
Just
have.
list one thing that you
I
really
don't think you
want.
want me to list them. I don't
This
think
segment
you want me
is
to
not
list
that
them.
hard. Okay,
Just list
I don't
one.
think you want me to, I
One.
don't think.
Pick one.
fine. Hunter, go
Look at
first
his
because no one's having a hard
Overwatch
time.
2. I want Overwatch 2.
Too
There.
freaking bad. That's coming next August.
This
Coming
year,
next
from
Fe-
Christmas, Santa,
Coming February, correction.
I would like a 3080 graphics card.
Yeah, nobody cares. Next.
Darius?
Damn.
Want more money.
Too freaking bad of work for. Next.
Grim?
I don't know. I got everything I want for Christmas.
Lies.
Lies.
Okay.
The human is always tainted with want.
This bastard can't
I
figure out
want
what
an
it wants.
R6. I want an R6.
You want a what?
Rainbow
Souped up
Six?
R6. It's a motorcycle.
Ow.
Mikey boy.
Ow.
That's not very
Darian.
gamer of you.
What do you mean?
All right, Nate. We're saving the worst for last.
Yeah.
What would
Damn.
you like for Christmas this year, Nate?
Love and affection.
Sorry, we don't do charity.
Get a
here.
freaking job, nerd.
How does that give me that?
Everyone
Shut
point and
your
laugh at
ass up.
Hey, all right.
Don't be barking
Sorry,
at me,
Mom.
Nate.
That's
I'm
a
missing
mark.
the same thing.
Anyway. But, yeah, I'm glad that, some people have a real Christmas list. I mean, Noah's just doesn't have one, apparently.
Noah has a
You
list
want
Because
that's
I
fun.
live
in
a
history.
sad and depressed life.
Yeah,
What
well,
else do you
do
want?
your
people
job,
don't listen to
Dad?
our show for your problems.
How am I supposed?
mean-
Because we are a gaming podcast,
It's a
not a mental
podcast.
health.
We're
We
not
can be
the mental
open.
health podcast. We're a bunch of screw-ups that are in a podcast room together.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing.
Be happy.
Sit
Too
down
freaking
and
bad.
be
I live
humble.
in a world of sadness. I cry myself to sleep.
Right, anyway, into the news of this week.
It's a more important matter.
Yeah, what you guys came here for. Cyberpunk. We will jump right into this wildfire of a game. Cyberpunk did not live up to the hype. Cyberpunk allowed to be refunded on Xbox. Was PlayStation, but apparently they're denying that. And stick around because there is a potential PC fix for Cyberpunk as well. So, who wants to start off with their great review on Cyberpunk
How about
2077?
the people that have played it review it?
I ain't got no issue with it.
You
That's a
mind
lie.
sharing?
You crashed the game 4
Hunter,
times
what did
trying
we
to
talk
launch it.
about?
I
Hunter?
crashed the game twice.
Your internet
said
probably
four.
crashed the game.
Bruh.
And the only other issue I had was a little bit of frame rate and a floating phone.
Alright, Darian?
Honestly,
iCloud very seriously.
the game is a very different what I've usually played. I haven't really given a review before, but don't really have much of a problem. I wish there was more customization you could do to your character. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little side
Me and
note.
Darian already went into depth with this one.
PewDiePie had accidentally revealed his character's genitals on Twitch live stream.
Accidentally.
But
Yet,
I'm
he
gonna
is a man.
give my
Can I finish my review?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Like, damn, just cut me off again. Like, I see how it is.
Damn it!
Alright, there's some major glitches and stuff for it that I've run into. Especially, like, towards the tutorial simulator. You walk up to the first gun, it like spazzes out. The textures spaz out. Stuff, so...
Oh my god. What console are you playing on, Darian? Like, specifically, which,
Gen 1 Xbox. No, Gen
Oh my
1,
god.
sorry. Xbox One.
Alright.
I'm fully expecting glitches. It's an older hardware.
Correct, but how many years did they have to...
What?
I mean, it was originally supposed to be releasing on the Xbox. The trailers they showed, the gameplay they showed, was only on PCs. Nobody else see an issue with this? But I'm going to give my review. And I've been viewing things technically, trying to break the game as much as I can. And viewing, I was looking at other people's issues. So here we go. Right off the bat of the game, when you start the missions up, I noticed frame rate dropping, textures not loading in properly, the game is laggy at certain parts, the game freezes up at times, audio desync also happens. When you're driving, things seem so clunky, like when you hit something, you don't really feel like you're hitting it, you kind of feel like you just kind of phase through the objects. Characters don't really... I never got attached to the character that I'm playing as V. Like, I don't know why, they just don't seem as real, you know what I mean? Like, the dialogue just isn't there for me. The romance options, there isn't very many, and it doesn't seem all too great. Yet again, there's only a few niche players out there that really care about that stuff. Another issue that I've been experiencing, things seem really blurry out in the distance. There's not a lot of traffic in the game, making it feel really empty. There's so much, like, I feel like the game has a lot of potential, it just feels empty.
I agree with you on
Yeah, a lot of nitpickies. Yeah, I understand that.
Well,
this is definitely not the game to end all games.
No, who said that?
Well, that's what this hype was living up to. Like, this is gonna be the game of the year. I promised a few podcasts ago this would be game of the year, and now I'm eating my own words.
No.
Hey, it still could be game of the year, because guess what
Now,
won
hold
game
up.
of the year this year?
Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
now hold up. Now
all
hold
the
up.
Anthem had a better launch than
Rigged.
Cyberpunk.
Now hold up. Okay, like real quick. How long has Cyberpunk been in development?
Well, when was I born? 2001?
Because from what I saw from doing research, it said that it was in 9 years of development.
Mm-hmm.
9 years. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It got pushed back 3 times during, literally, was it 2019 or 2020?
Between.
Yeah. It got pushed back 3 times on a game that's been consistently worked on for 9 years straight. I mean, yeah, you're going to have breaks here and there.
I don't think it's been consistently worked on. I don't.
Then that's the
They had a
problem,
small
though.
team at one point.
If we're going... It could be the possibility that they switch teams during the middle of the creation of it. Like, halfway through the years, the team got tired of it, and they're like, okay, we need to pass this on to someone else. And that could have caused a problem. But more so, if we look, like, deeper into it, a game that just came out, that's been pushed out 3 times, like, pushed back during, like, between 2019 and 2020, should not have this many problems on startup. I mean, yeah, you're going to have problems with the new game. Of course. I mean, who doesn't? But I don't think it should have this amount.
Especially with, like, Scenic changes. Between certain missions, like, if you're on foot or, like, driving, and the screen just freezes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You know how much that
I feel like they rushed it.
That breaks immersion so much. Like, as soon as I'm getting into it, it's just, like, done. It just crashes. And the audio desync bothers me. Some NPCs' mouths don't even move when you walk up to talk to them.
talking major NPCs or just NPCs?
Multiple. I mean, there was one mission, I think it's during the heist mission, there was a character that I was supposed to kill and I couldn't because he spawned outside of the door, so he was in a room that I couldn't get into.
I had an issue like that in the heist mission.
Yeah.
I was trying to get into an elevator. And there's a guy sitting there. And he was just blinking in and out. And I was sitting there trying to shoot him and wouldn't kill him.
The only huge gripe I have about it is kind of the combat. Like, it feels slow.
Oh, yeah. It feels real slow.
I don't have really much of a problem with combat.
But I find that, like, the only enjoyable to me is really just using snipers, because I feel like it takes too much to kill an enemy.
Yeah, that's an RPG.
I understand, like, the RPG element to it. And I like the fact, like, I'll go over the pros, too, that I like about it, but I have a lot more cons than pros. You had a game in development this long, and some of the things that they promised on weren't delivered on.
We should be expecting the problem and the clunkiness from any kind of game that comes out nowadays. Like, especially like one of these really brand new games.
Not when you had 9 years.
I've heard this happen before with another game that was in development for 10 years, and it released and it was boring. It didn't get good to the DLC.
See, that's not the problem. Personally, the way I look at it, you can work on a game for 9, 10 years, and it can be garbage to some people. But if it's like, if you don't uproar the game, like, let's say they did massive. We can all agree that they just hyper efficiented, like, the cutscenes, the playability, all the stuff. The trailers were just hyped up to, like, the very extent. But then it was like they were showing us this magnificent pool when what we got was just like a shallow puddle. And I don't mean that in, like, I don't want to be that guy, but personally, when I want a game, I mean, if you're going to hype it up, I want that type of, view. And if I don't get that, I'm not going to pay $60 for a AAA title that isn't going to give what it was supposed to, give out.
And we ran into this problem with a game not too long ago, Fallout 76.
Exactly.
This is why I stopped pre-ordering games.
That was something different.
It's still along the same guideline. How hyped it got that it was going to be this great game. But you want to talk about a decent game? Let's take a look at CD Projekt Red's, like, all-time gem game. Everybody knows the game just because of how much popularity it got. The Witcher Wild Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that went through the same problem.
It wasn't as bad.
It went through the same problems
Same problem.
Then we can argue that every game went through the same problem.
Yes, every game goes through the same. When players buy a new game, you're a beta tester going into until patch 1. You are a beta tester, okay?
But then how about this? then how about this? Basically, what we're trying to explain is that the game's going to be overhyped, yes, but there has been many There has been many examples that have shown, like, hey, this is actually, like, a good game that's, like, playable, at the start of it. I'm not saying it didn't have problems, but it lived up to what people expected, even if it was minimal. I don't feel that with Cyberpunk. I feel like they still need to work on it. It needs a lot of work.
Yeah, they even said they still need to work on it.
And that's the problem. They pushed it back 3 times.
I'm gonna read a tweet that was posted by Cyberpunk 2077. Dear gamers, I'm gonna paraphrase this a bit. First of all, we'd like to start by apologizing to you for not showing more of the base game on last-gen consoles. Now, from what I've heard from other inside sources, other YouTubers, when they got the game early, only people on PC were allowed to show the game before the launch on consoles. And they recognized that. They said they should have made it play, or should have focused on making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The second we will fix the bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. The first round of updates has just been released. Expect more as well. The updates frequently whenever new improvements are ready. After the holidays, we'll continue working. We'll release 2 large patches, starting with the patch number 1 in January, and then patch number 2 in February.
So you're basically paying $60 for a game that isn't even complete.
Finally, they had added, everyone who buys our games needs to be satisfied with their purchases. We would appreciate it if you would give us a chance, but if you are not pleased with the game on your console, you don't want to wait for updates, you can opt for a refund for your copy, even if they were purchased digitally. Please use the refund system of PSN or Xbox, respectively. For box versions, please try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact us at help.
Did they follow in on this?
At CD Projekt Red, and we will do our best to help you. Starting from today,
Sony's the only one.
For a week up until December 21st.
Of course, Sony's fucking. We don't talk about Sony.
They've been hearing things like Sony's not giving refunds.
Of course they aren't.
Now, here's the issue with that. You knew that it wasn't performing well on the Xbox. Or
they felt that there was a responsibility for them to put it out.
People off by waiting and delaying it again. Or you release a game that is not ready to be played and is buggy and broken. And now you have 2 issues. You have people irritated, and you have bugs. And people don't want to play the game right now.
Yeah, and on top of that, I actually found out something that's very, very, very funny. On the release on the Xbox Microsoft Store, when Cyberpunk was placed on there, it has been since then that the reviews have been turned off and do not show under the store page of Cyberpunk. You cannot see any reviews. None. I am literally sitting on the Microsoft Store right now, and I can see zip, nada, none.
Wow. Yeah, that's...
So they knew.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Because, personally, I believe that's a way of getting someone's money and not showing them, hey, our product isn't finished.
Well, that's
but yes,
why
I get it.
You really shouldn't be relying on Xbox's review system either.
No, but when you have a consistent amount of the same issues and same complaints, that's something to go off of. Obviously, if there was, 20 5-star reviews, but 2 1-star reviews,
well,
that's different.
It could be the fact, I understand what you mean, Darian, but it could be the fact that, personally, I'm playing it on a platform that I'm only going to be playing on that platform. I'm playing on Xbox, so I want to see the reviews from other people that play it on Xbox, because it's going to be different between Sony and PC. Why don't we get reviews? It feels like we've been left out when the other 2 platforms are able to get constant support on the situation, like how Isaac brought up the whole situation where it was like PC was getting more information more quickly than the other 2 platforms, which I'm totally fine with. I do believe that the PC platform is more established.
Here's the thing about this. PC has one platform, a PC. Consoles have 4. You have the PS5, the Xbox Series X, you have the PS4, and the Xbox One. They have to tend to a lot of more console items than PC, hence the reason why PC gets it faster. If that makes
That's
sense.
understandable.
I haven't really looked at it from that point of view, but you've also had 8 years. They could have done a little bit better.
Although, I will say this. People need to notice. This is a little bit of a retort to what you were saying. If you look at Cyberpunk before you click on it, it says that it is Xbox XS optimized. That means it probably won't function and run as well as older models when it comes to Xbox One. So people need to understand, hey, it might not run as good on your Xbox One compared to this person's Xbox Series X. It's been optimized for a better generation.
I still feel like they should have had the base. Because not everybody is moved to the next console. None of us are, as far as I know.
Understandable. I'm still using the Xbox One X.
And I still believe that they don't actually exist.
There's more copies.
Yeah, or
right now, guy.
they're not blowing up like PlayStation 5s.
GameStop got a shipment recently.
Yeah, unfortunately, what I'm looking for will never be back in stock, it feels like.
I would rather have my deployable fridge than a detonator.
Deployable fridge.
Yeah, I want that Xbox Series X fridge.
They made literally one.
Yeah, and they gave it to Snoop Dogg.
I know. I'll go take it from Snoop Dogg.
He deserves that.
No, there was a few made. There wasn't
either one or five.
Yeah, there was
Fridges
one.
are one of a kind, guy.
No. Like big streamers and big people got the fridges. There was a few
probably
full-size
bought
fridge,
yeah.
or like a actual like tiny little cooler.
No,
it's
full-size
full-size
fridge.
It's a big old fridge.
I've seen the fridge. I know what we're talking about, but I only heard of the one being built. I never saw another one being built.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg. I can probably
Snoop
pull
Dogg
up the
got it.
list of who got them. But yeah,
I thought Tim got one. Tim the Tap Man.
yeah, who? Okay, Microsoft refrigerator looks like it's new 500 to the kitchen appliance. Yeah, so they gave away a few of these. Once people started comparing it to a fridge, Microsoft
Capitalized.
took that a little
I
bit
love
seriously.
No, I love it.
When you open
At least
it,
the
it does
genius.
the little noise.
It's amazing. At least the Xbox
Startup
platform
noise.
actually memes with their, people that want products on their
Now
platform.
Sony has to make a router.
Yeah.
Nah, go back to the old model of the PS5, the toilet seat.
But I don't think it's like a normal fridge. I think it's like a drink fridge. I could be wrong.
No, the big fridge is a fridge, guy.
Yeah.
It's a full-size
You put
boy.
You don't
stuff in it, you
make
close
a
it.
cooler
You can put
that big.
a frozen pizza in that fridge.
Pizza.
So yeah, there was one that gamers could get, and then there was
Gross.
there was only one for gamers. So everybody on the Xbox console that tried to get one, or tried to enter the polls, probably didn't get far.
Oh, can we talk about the freaking GameSpot review, please? About Cyberpunk?
GameStop
please?
review?
GameSpot.
GameSpot review? Okay,
Yes.
yeah, we can. I mean, we're talking about Cyberpunk right now, so anything we want to bring up.
Have you guys heard about this?
I'm looking up right now. I'm trying to see what it is.
Okay, so this chick,
I gave it a bad review without playing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you
Without
kidding
playing,
me?
They gave
That's
it a bad
just
review without
scummy.
playing like gigantic parts of it.
That's like literally me walking up to you and being like, "Your life sucks and I hate you," but I've never met you before.
I thought everybody.
You wouldn't be
that.
wrong.
Well, yeah, I completely get that. I mean, you can't really compare or even talk about something that you don't know about. Like that's
There's
why
like no reason to.
Stupid. Like,
What was
why
it?
would you even think that's a good review if you haven't played most of the game?
It's literally representation without optimism.
They're called game journalists, people. Okay.
Yeah, back when people thought the new Crash Bandicoot was Dark Souls. We won't go into that.
Yeah.
Cash Bandicoot.
I
was
mean, when
hurt
Doom
bad.
released, it didn't face nearly as many problems. Just saying.
Dude, Doom Eternal?
Yeah.
Dude, amazing. Amazing content.
And they didn't have 8 years to develop it.
Yeah, they put it out when the people wanted it.
And then it lost The Last of Us 2.
Yep. You know The Last of Us 2 beat action in Doom Eternal? Beat action. Like,
I won't go into it, but we all understand why that happened.
I said we do go into.
I mean,
It's just like the
You know
Tom
they
situation
cut out,
Gears.
like, Well, they cut out like I think 50% of Last of Us content. Like they had to.
Yeah.
I heard somebody like really important dies early.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we're not gonna get into that topic.
Yeah, we're not.
Oh,
Yeah.
I kind of wanna.
You know what?
There's a reason.
Okay,
There's
so
a reason. Y'all can all agree with
I
me.
will say this.
in that
So in our side chat that we kind of have going, just to keep everybody on track with what is going on between us, so we're not talking out loud. The LGBT community apparently may have had something to do with kind of how that played out. Now, that's not saying that's 100%, but obviously, guys, we're not the all-in-one gaming news channel that knows everything that's going on. We give you opinions and things.
We say poggers. We don't know nothing.
Now, we will back this up on why we believe this is. Now, this is nothing against the community itself. I mean, obviously, I support, whatever.
You mean it's a character?
Explain
That is not a character.
to me why you guys believe that the community had something to do with that.
Oh my god.
Oh, where do we start?
And Ghost of
Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, which I heard was an amazing ass game.
Yeah, it lost Game of the Year. Dude, this garbage fire of a game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Makes no sense how Last of Us should have won, but it did.
This still doesn't explain why.
Yeah, I don't either.
So are we just throwing shots at communities for no reason?
No, who brought it up? Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan, explain.
Jordan, explain on it.
Okay, so I will say this. It got a whole lot of attention from that community. And once again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm totally fine with what people do. But a lot of reviews were very biased. Very
Yes,
biased.
very biased. Most
Like,
of them were
incredibly
like,
biased.
This game's
Once
amazing,
again,
10 out of 10,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
it's-
Yeah, no. I don't think
But
anything
if
should
you
be
look at
10 out of
the
10.
player reviews, they're not very good.
Okay,
I'll
but
be honest.
how does
People were
this
saying, "Oh, they're
involve
review brigading and stuff
that
like
community?
Okay, so
There's a character.
I'm down with the way a company wants to go different with what they're playing, right? But you can tell when a company has an agenda, and when that agenda needs to be proven and then pushed towards an audience. And once again, like I said, I'm totally fine with it. I'm totally fine with, things being added to the game that people want. Totally cool with that. But
They can't
If
be
it-
mad if other people don't.
if
And
it
then
ends
say
up
something
causing a
about
problem
it.
with a certain community, I don't think it should be added. Personally. If it's going to cause very hard issues and cause like a blockage towards what the game wants to actually represent, and a post-apocalyptic world that you have to survive in.
Accurately.
Accurately, yes. I feel like it waters down what the company wanted to set forth with. And personally, I feel... I don't care if I get attacked for this, but I'm going to say it. Sometimes things happen that we can't control, and I don't like it. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, well, I will add then to this. Did it change how the story, prior to the other games, was she, or the Perk character, always, dating different
Yeah.
genders?
Yes.
No. I don't... not in the first
In
one.
the first one, she was. In the DLC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So in downloadable content, I don't know how I feel about that.
But I understand if they want to include all members.
Totally fine with it.
Because,
Joe,
we're
just saying,
a,
cough, cough.
we're in a progressive
Spoilers
nation.
That's
for people
what
who haven't
happened.
played
No
it.
one cares. No one
That's
cares.
Everyone
what
cares,
happened.
guys.
That's a
Everyone.
that's a fucking
Her
no.
best
I'm not
character,
talking
they
about
killed off
this.
the first 20 minutes.
And didn't get revenge for it? Like, bro. Really?
Like that fucking the game. Oh, but we're going off. We're going off like subject here.
Anyway, so I mean, I completely
The game was
understand.
a flop. That's all you're trying to say.
Not to review.
Because I'm sure there are some, like, members of that community out there that also aren't a fan of this. You know, it almost feels forced. Like, it's not natural for that character.
Definitely. I had a friend, a buddy of mine. I'm not going to say any names.
You can
but
say
I had a
your
buddy of mine
face
that
if
was
you
talking to
want,
me.
or change their name.
You can just change.
I'll call him Sean. I'll call him Sean. So my buddy Sean, he was talking to me about it. He was just like, yeah, they're being very pushy with the content that they're giving out, and I'm just like, yeah, I can kind of feel it. But it didn't personally bother me at the time because I'm happy that that side of the community got what they would want. You know, it's like if I'm allowed to fucking blow off a zombie's head with like incredible gore and like, why can't we have some characters in there that represent people that want to be represented? Which is truly understandable. I'm totally fine with that. But coming from a person that is of that community, I don't want him to like be the one person that represents that community. No. But coming from his side, it's understandable.
The only thing that I don't agree with, okay, so what was that game or movie recently where they're like, oh, well, now he's pan. I think that's what it was. I forgot what game or movie it was, but he was like, he was straight throughout like the entire series, but then all of a sudden they turned him, you know, to date different genders. Like, to me, it seems, I mean, it's okay, but it's weird to change it up in the middle of it.
You need to have story building when it comes to that. You need to have like representation. Like, he ran into a guy that really just like hit him a different way, like that sort of thing, and just build a relationship with the characters. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gay now.
Right. And, I mean, I'm completely supportive of all communities. Like,
I am too.
I just don't like it when it feels forced.
So, okay, I haven't played the game, haven't heard anything about this. Was the character straight before? Or just wasn't specified?
I feel like,
or
like how Hunter said, I feel like second DLC.
You know what I think to add into that? If you're going to put very heavily, like, very heavy story changing and downloadable content, I feel like that should have been added into the game beforehand and not added in just as something that you buy. Because that's
the same thing.
Yeah, and you know, people cannot just be let to do that. Like, if you're going to build a game and you have very important plot pieces, you can't just be like, that's like me ripping pages out of a book and be like, yo, you have to pay for the rest.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I want to figure out what happened to the character, like, what's the story, stuff like that. Oh, and you pay for one page and you get it. It's just like, what the hell? Where's it going? Like, it just went off the page, like, it went off the road. It's just like, this wasn't the story that I was learning.
It was, okay. Was it Rainbow Six, Noah?
Rainbow Six did it too.
Okay.
Had this big issue of I forgot who sued them for it, but I do believe it was Japan, and the game had to be redesigned and recensored. That was what the whole Operation Health was supposed to be about. But they blamed it and said that they were fixing. Yeah, that's what they ruined the game.
Japan is in America.
However, let's change topics here. This one is going to fire me up a little bit.
Alright, just let him talk about it, because I don't know what he's talking about here.
Well, I'm sure you guys will be a little irritated too. And I'll explain why. So, in this,
I know a little bit on this issue.
I think it might be 2 weeks ago now. This was posted December 10th, 2020, so 6 days ago now. Nvidia denies Hardware Unboxed review their Founder Edition GPUs for not following what they wanted to talk about. They belittled Hardware Unboxed by, telling them, like, you aren't reviewing this well enough for, like, the gaming community and us as a whole. LTT, Linus Tech Tips, and other big channels backed Hardware Unboxed, causing a backlash with Nvidia as they emailed Hardware Unboxed that they apologized for what they had said. From a quote, Nvidia have officially decided to ban us from receiving GeForce Founders Edition GPU review samples. The reasoning is that we are focusing on rasterization instead of ray tracing. They have said they will revisit should your editorial direction change.
God. Are they serious right now?
Now, here's why this irritates me. When I look for a GPU, I want to know what's going to get me the bang for the buck and what's going to run well for what I want it to do. When you take a channel who is reviewing certain aspects of a graphics card that a company doesn't want them to, they shouldn't just tell them, screw you, you're not going to get our editions or our graphics cards anymore because you are not hitting the points that we want you to. They were not sponsored by them. They were giving those graphics cards by them.
Well, hold on. Did they pay for the product themselves?
They were sent the product to review. They were
then
not
they
told.
Should not.
They had
to
follow guidelines.
Then that's retarded. That's literally them giving you a product and saying, you better talk amazingly about it or you're not getting anything from us and we will not help you ever again. It's just like, no, that's terrorism. That's forcing you, that's literally slavery. They're forcing you to say something against your own, like, ideals, against your own opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I mean, yeah, sometimes it... Understandable. It's so confusing.
Here's one issue one thing that I could agree with. If you were sent a sponsorship by a company, let's say for some reason we get a sponsorship from Nvidia, and they said, look, you can do the sponsorship, but we want you to hit this topic, this topic, this topic, and please, bring out things that we see with the graphics card. I wouldn't mind that. But if you want me to honestly review this product and keep my channel's integrity going, because obviously the people that would be listening would want the truth about a card, if I do not deliver
sponsorship bullshit,
if I do not deliver the truth to them, then my channel would no longer be worth listening to. Another issue is when you tell a company or a YouTuber like that, Hardware Unboxed, telling them, like, look, you can't review these anymore because you're not hitting the points. You have now not only disabled a channel source of income, you have now ruined a lot of issues, and you've caused a chain reaction for the editing team and families and everything. Because when you start toying with those things, you're destroying a whole fan base, because after something like that, I'm not even sure if I want to buy a graphics card from them.
I don't blame you. If I'm gonna get yelled at for buying your product, no.
Or
working with your product.
And you know what this sounds like to me?
Battlefield 5.
Hey, our card, you shouldn't have to worry about setting guidelines for what they talk about if you're not worried that your product is horrible.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're releasing these products, they should work, they should do what you say, and if they don't, then people are going to leave these bad reviews.
And it's just going to leave them in an even more worse of a rut, even when you're using, antics to actually get better reviews. You don't force someone to say something good about your product when, personally, they're just like, they could have done better on this, that, blah, 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 blah. You need to have good feedback to increase the productivity of your product and what you're wanting to go for. You can't just be like, just say everything good about it so you can get more money. No, because then guess what? You are cheating everyone out of their money on a product that's lower than average build. And in some concepts, it may not be. It may be good in some concepts and it may be bad in some others. But I want to have a good reliability on a product when I pay for it. If I'm giving you money, that is me giving trust and saying, hey, I want this. I'm going to use this to the greatest of my ability because I paid money for this. If you do not have that second, that connection between on that bridge, I'm not going to pay for your product. It's garbage. No matter how good it is, you're hurting your own customers. That's not customer service.
I'm going to put two things in here. A, when you put out something like that, it's going to spread like wildfire.
Definitely.
Two, I'm going to read
That company's
the
gonna
email
really regret doing
that was sent to Steve from Hardware Unboxed by the Brian Del Rizzo, director of the global PR for GeForce. Alright. Hi, Steve. We've reached a critical juncture in adoption of ray tracing and has gained industry-wide support from top titles, developer, game engineers, API, consoles, and GPUs. As you know, Nvidia is all in for ray tracing. RT is important and core to the future of gaming, but it's also one part of the focused R&D efforts of revolutionizing video games and creating a better experience for gamers. This philosophy is also reflected in developing technologies such as DLS, Reflex, and Broadcast that offer immense value to customers who are purchasing a GPU. They don't get free GPUs. They work hard for their money, and they keep their GPUs for multiple years. Despite all the progress, your GPU reviews and recommendations have continued to focus singularity on rasterization, performance, and you have largely discounted all of the other technologies we offer gamers. That's
egotistical.
It is very clear from your community commentary that you do not see things the same way that we, gamers, and the rest of the industry do. Our Founders Edition boards and other Nvidia products are being allocated to media outlets that recognize the changing landscape of gaming in the future that are important to gamers and anyone buying a GPU today, be it for gaming, content creation, or studio and streaming. Hardware Unboxed should continue to work with our add-in card partners to secure GPUs to review. Of course, you'll still have access to obtain pre-release drivers and press materials. That won't change. We are open to revisiting this in the future should your editorial direction change.
That's literally, that entire fucking goddamn composure is filled with so many egotistical goddamn comments that it pushes it further into another area of just being... It's detrimental. It literally causes problems more than it fixes. And it's literally calling out this guy that had no clue this would have happened. He was giving his representation on the product. He was showing what he didn't like about it and what he enjoyed. That's what he was thought he was supposed to do. But these people, I love the fact they're just like us gamers, you know, the people that looked up on this, you know, we totally, we know how it plays, you know, it's great. Hey, buddy, how about you give it to, like, the public and stop paying the people that are going to, you know, not talk shit about your product because you're paying them large sums of money. I mean, if you're gonna pay me like $100,000 to fucking talk good about your stuff, then yeah, I'm gonna do it. But dude, no, that's retarded. They're literally just showing a representation of just egotistical assholes that are trying to be like, our product is amazing, and just because you said something about it, you're dumb, and we know the community more than you do. No, you don't know nothing about gamers. You just make the product for us.
Yeah,
no.
That's why you should always trust the company to put out a product and not say anything about, oh, we come together, we're all gamers here. No. That company is not representative of the
They need a full overhaul on their staff. I swear. Because if people are like that in like the higher ups for Nvidia, oh my lord, I hope that company goes down. Either full overhaul, I don't know.
People in here that don't even use PC are also now peeved off by these statements.
Yes, it's I'm a full console player for life, and someone getting talked shit to. By the way, I don't deteriorate towards other platforms. I love all platforms. I don't care. I play PlayStation. I played Xbox. I played PC. I'm just an Xbox guy. I love Xbox. That's my platform. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's unfair to PC players to be yelled at because they have to get parts. People need to understand that. They have to get parts to put into their system to be able to viably and enable themselves to play a game that they want to enjoy. I can go out and buy me an Xbox One and immediately be able to get into a game. That's just me. I don't want to go through all that muck and craziness and stuff like that. So it's unfair to PC players because that hurts them physically. They're like, oh, well, damn, now I can't, you know, shit, dude. Like, this is supposed to be one of the best graphic cards that was going to be out. It's like, it's such baloney, dude. It's undeniable. The most worst thing we've talked about in this session. That is just unfair. 2020 sucks.
Hey, man,
I've got something
at least
to
you
follow
don't
this up
have
with.
the coof.
The coof.
Like I feel I'm hard out to this guy.
Someone's having to actually call it the real name. And speaking of which,
COVID 19.
No, because A, we're not sponsored, and
Backstreet
B,
Boys.
they're all edited out.
It doesn't matter if we're sponsored or not.
We're not an affiliate of YouTube.
This probably won't.
However, let me follow this up with something nice real quick. Big news, I just received an email from Nvidia apologizing for the previous email, and they've now walked everything back. This thing has been a roller coaster ride over the past few days. I'd like to thank everyone who supported us. Obviously, a huge thanks to Linus Sebastian for backing us up. There are many more of you who deserve a big thank you as well. So thank you. We really appreciate all of you. As for our video, it's still coming in. You can expect that tomorrow.
Yeah, you appreciate our wallet. That's what you appreciate.
No, that was Hardware Unboxed saying that Nvidia had reversed.
I thought it was Nvidia. I apologize.
I wouldn't trust that.
Well, Linus is one of the biggest tech guys on YouTube, so the fact that he got irritated and put out that, I mean, you fired up an entire company.
I hope he did.
He gets targeted as being a shill for Nvidia all the time, and I don't agree with that, but that's just my opinion.
Like,
you can think a product's good and not be a fanboy, but if you are a fanboy for any company to the point where anything they put out, you'll pay for it, regardless of what anybody says, you are...
Cough.
well then, okay.
That's true.
I'll say this: if you are a fanboy for something and you want to just keep buying a certain product, go for it. But don't push it onto others. Don't have that biased outlook. Be like, hey, I want to know your opinion on this. And, you know, you talk to them stuff like that, and they're like, oh, okay, I understand, you know, it's not for everybody. That's cool. But if you're going to be like, oh, I paid $8,000, a great CPU, freaking, just amazing, awesome, you know, greatest company in the world, it's, stop.
I feel called out.
It's, well, once again, I'm totally fine with that. If you want to freak out over something that, you know, one of your favorite companies pushed out, go for it. All power to you, man. All to the hills. Go for it. But the moment you become biased and cause problems for other people, that's when it becomes a massive problem. They won't think the same way when it comes to that product that you will. And people need to understand that.
I don't think Nvidia is to the negative stuff about the negative reviews about the products.
Yeah,
They don't
exactly. Like, it's people just need to know that there's a facade over every company, and if you can get past that and understand like the true intentions, that's where your hope lies. That's where you can understand what part of the ground you should stand on. The part that won't cave in, the part that will help you further your knowledge on a certain subject. Be like, hey, okay, then I know what to get, you know what to do. My outlooks are better now. I can do this, blah blah blah. But I don't know. I'm ranting. I understand, but it's like, sweet lord.
But it's a helpful rant.
I hope so.
Speaking of, where did you come from?
Yeah, like all these late join-ins, like you gotta be here at the beginning, my guy.
Hey. I said I'd be on, and then I passed the hell out.
No.
I mean...
No.
In the Discord, you said, I promise I'll be here for this one.
Ooh. I did say I'd be,
We're an
and
hour
I passed
in.
out.
Back him up.
Here we go. Anyway, I did miss a few things, so we can go right out with these. I'm just gonna blast these
I have one that I
off.
wanted to add, though.
I mean, if you guys want to keep going for a little bit longer, you can.
Okay.
Hunter?
Well, yeah, you know what, Hunter? Let's go. Let's go for a little bit longer.
It's literally
No,
going to take like
no,
2 minutes to discuss
What is
I
it?
wanted to-
What is it?
Let's go with
No,
it.
you remember how you wanted that one thing to happen with Reinhardt in Overwatch, where if he charged, he make a train sound? Guess what they did for Christmas?
Did they do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made him a train.
About time
Train
they
conductor.
did it.
It's so
Now
nice.
it's gonna be funny because now you're gonna hear this big old train and you're gonna smack it into a wall and make you explode. It's awesome.
They also made Roadhog a snowman.
Alright,
Yeah,
anyway.
nobody care about that train.
I'm gonna blast
Good
these
addition,
off.
Hunter. You haven't been talking that much.
It's kind of like
said
you've
it'd
been
take
talking
like a-
mostly.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we all
Hey,
got our
hey,
trade.
hey.
Alright, quiet down, quiet
Alright.
down. Anyway,
What are you,
firing
my
off
mom?
these last few topics, new GTA 5 heist is out because that game's still kicking. Cold War
Dude,
Season
and
1
it's
is
still
tomorrow.
freaking
And here we
good.
go, guys. Again, you can join us on Discord in the link in the description. You can join us on Patreon at Midnight Shift 0 at patreon.com. You can follow us on Instagram at The Midnight Podcast. And as always, guys, we hope you have a great night. Now, you know how this goes by now. We do a countdown timer, and we all yell good night into the mic for 12. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Good night!